Hi all. This video is going to be a bit of a different one, and it's something I've only ever done once I think on YouTube. I do have a playlist for food, which is eating out in Ventura and various other types of food related subjects. I did do, I think, my shepherd's pie once, but I'm going to do a beef and chicken stew, or a chicken and beef stew, the way I do it and the way I've always done it for the last 30 odd years. And my special dumplings that I do, what I call special, to me they are. So I'm going to take you along on the journey and see if you like it. Okay, it's all going to be working in the kitchen, not in the garage, not in the workshop. Hope you like it. Okay, we've got most of our ingredients. Peas. I'm using one tomato, one large onion, medium onion, a couple of carrots, baby mushrooms, a beef stock and an oxo. I'll also be putting half a bottle of this Cabernet Sauvignon wine, red wine, into it. We tried a Merlot last time and it was quite nice, so I'll try something different. Also use a all-purpose seasoning. I just put a little bit of that in. And then this, a soup and stew mix. It's, I don't know if some of you might not have seen this. I'll get a scoop out. But it's wheat, split lentil, barley, all sorts, different coloured lentils, and it's no good if you're going to do a fast stew, because if you do a fast stew, this won't dissolve, it won't have time. If you were going to do that, put this in night before into some water and let it soak, but I'm putting it straight into the bottom of the pan. And because of the time we're going to use, 3, 4, nearly 5 hours in total, it dissolves lovely and thickens the stew, and it just gives it more of everything. I always use that. Running a bit low actually. And then we'll do our dumplings and potatoes and everything ready for going in later. But first of all, I'm going to prepare all this ready. Right, so with a whole onion cut up, 2 carrots sliced, peeled, mushrooms, cut them into little tea sections, 1 tomato, so it's 1 onion, 1 tomato, as many mushrooms as you want to put in, none if you don't want to, and that's 2 carrots. I've also got some frozen peas that will go in later. They'll go in with potatoes later. If I put them in now, they'll disappear. They'll just dissolve into nothing. So, if you can see that, move this. First job. I'm going to put a little bit of seasoning in the bottom. Not a lot, just a bit. Not a lot. We'll get a stock cube ready. We'll get our wine ready. And just using a half cup measure to put the soup mix in. Now in here you do get dried whole peas, and I take them out because they never soften and they crunch up in your teeth. Your teeth are as bad as mine are, so I'll take those out. The rest of it dissolves fine. You could be tempted to put too much of this in, but it's not a good idea because I've tried it before with like a full cup and it makes the whole thing too thick. Okay, so I shall put my veg in. Tomatoes, mushrooms, and the carrots and the onion. Don't worry if you don't break your onion up completely, because once it starts cooking and you're stirring, they break up. Right. Beef stock cube. Get it open. There's an OXO, hot water, and half a bottle of wine to go in, but I'm going to stop there because I've got to prepare my meat. In this one we've put in stewing meat and and a large chicken breast. I'm going to portion that into 4. You might wonder why I don't slice it up and chunk it like the beef is, but my landlady Bev, she likes chicken and I prefer the beef, so I do both. And when I come to serve it up, I can actually separate them 4 pieces of chicken dead easy. That's why I do it like that. So I'll get my meat prepared and everything. I'll come back in a minute. I mean, I cube this beef quite small. Some people love big chunky pieces, so you know, if you like it chunky, leave it chunky, don't matter. Right, piece of chicken. Nasty stuff handling poultry. To be very careful. Don't splash anything anywhere. Get salmonella all over the place. Right, let's quarter this up. In fact, no, we'll do that. Put that in as one. And that. And that. Right, need to give everything a clean up. OXO on top, and get some hot water and some antibac on this lot, get it cleaned up. An hour before we've finished our cooking time, I'll put the potatoes in and the peas, top it up with water if it's needed, and then an hour later we'll put our dumplings in, which we'll make. It's at this point I always think I've forgot something. Is there something I forgot to put in? And I've seen a lot of people that make stew on YouTube, and they put garlic in and ginger. I've never had garlic in a stew in my life, and I don't think I'd ever want to. Some people put a bit of turmeric in. You can put some, if you want to spice it up a bit, garam masala, and smoked paprika. A lot of people put paprika in. Apparently it's supposed to be very good for you, from what I read. Right, we'll get this hot water in. Go back to 3 hours. At that, at 150. I'll prepare my potatoes next. Wash them. So funny fellas not getting used. A little bit of salt. Cover them in water. If you don't, they'll start going brown. That's it. Come back in 3 hours. Big mixing bowl. Beef suet. You can use vegetable if you want. And self-raising flour. And a pinch of salt. And some weighing scales. Right, I'll do them later. I usually do them after when I put the potatoes in and get them ready. Dried flour on here. Okay, we'll come back in about 3 hours time. Time for the potatoes to go in. So this has had 3 hours in the oven at 150. And we're going to put these potatoes and the peas in and give it another hour. And then we'll start. Right, we'll put the lid back on. This pot is cast iron. I've had it quite a lot of years, but it's served well. It's quite badly stained on the inside and it won't come off now. I mean, I really do scrub it every time we've used it, but it gets darker and darker. I suppose enamel does eventually. Right, I'll bob that back in the oven then. I'll raise that to 160 now. For no particular reason. And set that for an hour. I always say clean as you go. You use quite a lot of utensils and things. If you don't clean them straight away, you end up with draining board full. Put that on and then zero it. Right, for a dumpling mix, it's twice the amount of flour to you sew it. So I'm going to use 350 flour. No, we've got 200. Make some nice big dumplings. Like 202. So we want 100. Oh, look at that. Couldn't have got that any better. 99 grams. I'm not going to open another box for 1 gram. That's fine. So that's 200 grams of self-raising flour. It was just over, and just under 100 grams of suet, beef suet, and a little bit of salt. Now this is where I differ from a lot of the cooks that are on, and chefs and things that are on YouTube. They always talk about when you sift this is to do it lightly. I do it heavy. I actually, let's see if I can move the camera somewhere better. Yeah, so I use my hand, clean obviously. Some people just use a knife, some use a spoon, but I like to get my hands in there. It ends up messy, but before I start, I'll flour the board up. So we've got some non-stick surface. Right, so as I was saying, I mix this up, but I don't just do it lightly. I crush the suet into the flour, and there's some chefs say that's sacrilege and you shouldn't do it, and it makes it heavy. But I've tried both ways, and believe me, I've been making dumplings for the last 25 years, and I've tried every kind of way. I've even done some with sage and honey and stuffing in. They're lovely then, but landlady Bev don't like it, so we'll show you our special way of what we do. So I'm sifting this heavily together, mixing the suet with the flour and a little bit of salt that's in there. And then I'm going to gradually introduce cold water from the tap, just dribbling. way. I'm gonna get some flour on my hands. Fold this. Right. Roll it in the flour. I mean, these are going to stand for nearly an hour now, so the potatoes are done. And then we'll put them in and I'll show you my magic formula. Show them close up. So the size of them, that's my hand. I'm an average size hand, not massive, but so bigger than a, that's about a tennis ball. Not a bit bigger than a tennis ball. But they'll blow up like balloons. Right, it's time for the dumplings to go in. Magic number, 11 minutes. Come back in 11 minutes. 11 minutes up. And 11 minutes. Yeah. We'll do that 3 or 4 times in total, but you'll see the effect at the end and it's well worth it, I think. If you like them nice and crispy, your dumplings. Some people like them soggy, in which case you wouldn't do that. But we'll be talking about 35 to 40 minutes probably, total cooking time for those. I didn't increase the temperature either, so we'll take that up to 180 now, which will help crisp them up with extra heat. I did a few times try going up to like 190, 200. It's a fan oven, and the problem you've got is it starts to evaporate all the gravy around the edge and some of the vegetables and things start to burn. 11, not 9, not 10, not 12, 11. It works. Right, we're done. They're beautiful dumplings, just how we like them, toasty. Beautifully done. Ah, hang on. No, I'm not sharing it with you. I'm sorry. Well, that turned out well. I'm quite happy with results, which I always am. And my dumplings were lovely and crispy, as they always are. On it, one thing I didn't say was that if you fancy your stew to be slightly peppery taste, just get some sticks of celery and finally chop them up and put them in, and it gives it that peppery bite. It's not perfectly peppery, it gives it that unique flavour. We've done it with them before, and we've put different things in. Basically a stew, you put anything you want in a stew. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up please. If you've never been on my channel before, consider subscribing. Okay guys, thanks for watching.